Her over, you're sending one clear message: I need you more than you need me. And the moment she feels that imbalance, her interest fades. So today, I'm breaking down exactly why trying too hard is killing your chances and what to do instead. Alright man, let's talk about something that most guys get totally wrong: being too available. You meet someone, you like her, and suddenly you're always texting, always ready to drop everything for her. At first it's exciting, but then out of nowhere, she starts pulling away, and you're left thinking, what did I do wrong? But when you're always available, when there's no space, no tension, it doesn't create attraction, it kills it. Think about it. Have you ever had something handed to you so easily that you lost interest? That's how people work, and this isn't just some dating cliche. History proves it. Look at Pablo Picasso and Dora Maar, Paris, 1936. Picasso, one of the greatest artists of all time, was used to women throwing themselves at him. But then he met Dora, an intelligent, independent, and mysterious photographer. Unlike other women, she didn't worship him. She challenged him. She had her own passions, her own life. Picasso was hooked. The more she focused on herself, the more he chased her. She became his muse, his obsession. That's the lesson. Pulling back isn't about playing games. It's about showing you have your own value, your own life. People respect and desire what isn't handed to them on a silver platter. When something is always available, always within reach, it stops feeling special. It becomes routine. The same principle applies to relationships. When a woman feels that she doesn't have to work for your attention, she naturally starts to take it for granted. This isn't about manipulating her or playing hard to get. It's about understanding human psychology and how attraction works. Women, like men, are drawn to things that feel valuable, things that feel just out of reach, things that require a level of effort to attain. It's the mystery, the uncertainty, the subtle tension that creates desire. If you're constantly checking in, always responding instantly, always prioritizing her over yourself, she doesn't get the chance to wonder about you, to miss you, to feel that rush of excitement when she hears from you. Attraction thrives in space, in the moments when she's left wondering, where is he? What's he doing? Why isn't he texting me right now? That's when you occupy her mind, and that's when her feelings for you grow stronger. The key here is to live your own life, have your own passions, your own goals, your own priorities. A man who is genuinely busy with his purpose, his fitness, his hobbies, and his ambitions naturally becomes more attractive because he is not placing a woman at the center of his world. He is the center of his own world, and she gets to be a part of his story, not the other way around. The men who struggle the most in dating are the ones who make women their top priority, who overinvest emotionally before a woman has truly earned it, and who give away their time and attention too freely. Instead, learn to pull back, not in a cold or manipulative way, but in a way that signals you have self-respect, that you value yourself, that you are someone who isn't desperate for validation. If she truly likes you, she will make an effort, she will reach out, she will initiate, and if she doesn't, then she was never really interested to begin with, and you just saved yourself time, energy, and self-respect. The right woman will appreciate a man who has his own life, a man who isn't afraid to step back and let things unfold naturally. So next time you catch yourself chasing, over-texting, or over-investing, stop, breathe, pull back. If she's into you, she'll come to you, and if not, walk away with your dignity intact, knowing that the right one will recognize your value without you having to beg for it. Quick announcement. The course is officially reopened, and here's the thing, half the spots are already gone in just the last 24 hours. Don't sit around thinking you have time because you don't. The girl you want, she'll be gone if you don't learn these secrets, and guess what? Everyone else will be left behind, stuck wondering what went wrong. This is your shot to level up, to leave them all in the dust. This is the last time you'll get it at this price. Next time it's going up. Time's ticking, and you know it. Don't let this slip through your fingers. Point 2. Give her space to miss you. Let me break this down for you in a way that will change the way you see attraction forever. You ever notice how, when you finally step away from your phone, even for a little while, everything suddenly feels fresh again? Like the silence makes you appreciate things more? That's exactly how attraction works. When something or someone is always there, always accessible, always within reach, it starts to lose its value. See, if you're constantly texting first, always checking in, always trying to keep the conversation alive, she never gets a chance to actually miss you. And missing you, that's what makes her think about you, what makes her want you. It's human nature. We value what we don't always have immediate access to, and the same applies to relationships. When you never give her a moment to breathe, when she never has a second to wonder about you, there's no tension, no excitement, no curiosity. Think about it like this. Imagine your absolute favorite food. Let's say you love pizza. You eat it once, it's incredible. Twice, still amazing. But what if you had it every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Eventually, no matter how much you originally loved it, it would start to feel normal. You wouldn't crave it the same way because it's always there. But if you take a break, if you go without it for a while, that first bite again, it hits completely different. The anticipation, the longing, the feeling of finally getting something you missed, that's what makes it special again. The same logic applies to relationships. If you're constantly in her face, constantly available, she doesn't have the space to appreciate you. She never gets that, where is he? What's he up to? Why hasn't he texted me yet? Moment. And that moment, that's where attraction builds. That's when she starts thinking about you on her own, without you having to force it. That's when she starts craving your attention instead of just responding out of habit. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore her on purpose or play mind games. That's not the move. The key isn't to be cold, distant, or manipulative. The key is to genuinely have your own life, your own passions, your own goals that keep you busy. When you're out there working on yourself, hitting the gym, grinding toward your dreams, hanging out with friends, and actually living, you naturally become less available. And that's when she starts noticing. She starts feeling your absence. She starts realizing that you're not just sitting around waiting for her texts. And trust me, that shift, it makes all the difference. Women are naturally drawn to men who have a sense of purpose, men who have things going on outside of them. When you create that space, when you're not always there, when she actually has time to miss you, that's when she starts to appreciate you more. Because now, your time and attention feel earned, not just given away for free. So stop worrying about always being in her inbox. Stop feeling like you need to constantly check in just to keep her interested. If she's into you, she will reach out. She will make an effort. And if she doesn't, well, now you know exactly where she really stands, without having to waste all your time and energy figuring it out. Focus on you, give her space, and watch how everything starts to shift in your favor. Point 3. Stop proving yourself. Alright man, let's talk about something that a lot of guys get completely wrong when it comes to dating. You meet a girl you like, and suddenly there's this overwhelming pressure to convince her that you're worth her time. You start doing all the things you think will make you stand out. You're listing your achievements, cracking jokes non-stop, being overly nice, maybe even going out of your way to do things to impress her. You're basically trying to prove that you're the guy she should want. But here's the thing. Real confidence doesn't come from proving yourself to anyone. It doesn't come from trying to earn validation. It comes from truly knowing your own worth and knowing that you're valuable with or without anyone's approval, especially hers. Think about it for a second. Have you ever met someone who just radiates confidence, but it's not the kind of confidence that's loud or in your face, the kind that feels effortless, the kind of person who is comfortable in their own skin? They don't need to try too hard to be noticed. They don't overshare or try to dominate the conversation. They don't need to be the funniest, the smartest, or the most charming person in the room. And yet, they're the ones that everyone gravitates towards. Why? Because they have that rare, magnetic quality that others respect. They own their confidence. That's the key right there. Confidence isn't something you perform for others. It's not about putting on a show or trying to prove yourself worthy. True confidence is something you own because you already believe in your value. And trust me, women can sense when a guy is seeking validation. They can feel that energy, and it's a turn-off. When you're constantly trying to prove your worth, it gives off this desperate, needy vibe. It's like you're saying, hey, please like me, please accept me, and that never works in your favor. Now, imagine if instead of trying to impress her or gain her approval, you just show up as yourself. Imagine how much more attractive you'd be if you simply relaxed, dropped the act, and focused on enjoying the moment. That's when you stop putting pressure on yourself to be perfect, and you start enjoying the interaction for what it is, authentic and real. Don't try to force the conversation. Don't try to make her laugh at every moment. Don't overanalyze everything you say or do. Just be yourself. Listen more than you talk. Give her space to be herself too, and appreciate the dynamic between the two of you. Here's the thing. When you stop seeking approval, you actually become more attractive. You start drawing people to you naturally because they sense that you're comfortable with who you are. You're not performing for anyone, not trying to impress or win them over. You're simply present. And that's powerful. That's what creates genuine attraction. The moment you stop chasing approval, you stop pushing people away. You allow them to come to you. Because when someone sees that you are confident enough in yourself to just be, they start to respect you more. They start to wonder, why is he so chill? What's his story? And that curiosity, it builds attraction. So, next time you're with her, take a step back. Let the conversation flow naturally. Don't worry about impressing her or convincing her that you're the best option. Just enjoy being yourself and being present. Because in the end, the less you chase her approval, the more it comes to you. And that's when you'll really start seeing things shift in your favor. Confidence is magnetic, but it's only real when it's rooted in your own sense of self-worth, not in someone else's validation. Point 4. Create a story, not a transaction. You ever notice how the best relationships, the ones that truly stand the test of time, feel more like a story than a list of actions or steps to follow? Too many guys treat dating like a transaction, thinking that if they just check off all the right boxes, I took you out, I complimented you, I was nice to you, so now you should like me, then the outcome will be guaranteed. But that's not how attraction works. If you approach dating with this kind of mindset, it's going to feel forced, transactional, and ultimately it's just not sustainable. Women don't fall for this kind of mechanical approach. They fall for the emotional connection, for the experience, for the unique story that's built between two people over time. Think about it. What's more exciting to you? A guy who's obsessively trying to win her over, rushing through every step, constantly ensuring everything is perfectly aligned, or a guy who's simply living his life, having fun, doing his own thing, and letting things happen naturally? The guy who's enjoying his own journey, not trying to force an outcome, becomes far more attractive because he isn't clinging to any particular result. He's fully engaged in his own life, and that energy is magnetic. The key here is that attraction isn't a business deal, and it sure as hell isn't a checklist. It's about connection, and connections take time to build. Let me tell you about a guy I know who met a woman who, at first, barely noticed him. Now, most guys would have jumped in, trying to win her attention, trying to impress her at every turn, but he didn't. Instead of chasing her or trying to force anything to happen, he just focused on living his own life. He was passionate about his work, about his hobbies, and about his friends. When they crossed paths, he was always calm, fun, and just in the moment. He didn't try too hard. He wasn't constantly texting or checking in. He allowed his own life to be his focus, and over time, without forcing anything, she started to show more interest. Why? Because he gave the story room to grow. He didn't rush it. He didn't make her feel like she was under any pressure to choose him. The more he focused on his own journey, the more she became curious about him. This is where a lot of guys get it wrong. They think attraction is something you can force or manipulate. They think it's a transaction, a series of steps you need to follow, like, I do this, and then you should do that. But true attraction is not about business deals or following a strict script. It's about the journey. It's about those moments that aren't perfectly planned, the ones that are spontaneous, the unexpected exchanges that build curiosity. It's about letting things unfold on their own, at their own pace. Those are the moments where real emotional connections are formed. When you stop trying to force an outcome, when you stop trying to control the entire narrative and just enjoy the ride, that's when the magic happens. The most powerful connections are the ones that come from allowing space for uncertainty, for curiosity, and for organic attraction to take root. So instead of trying to orchestrate every moment, just relax. Enjoy being present, in the moment. Let the relationship develop at its own pace. The best relationships are the ones that feel like a journey, not a transaction. They're the ones where both people naturally gravitate toward each other, where the attraction builds over time, and where the story unfolds without anyone needing to force it. At the end of the day, if you approach dating as if you're trying to create a perfect outcome, you're missing the point. Relationships are about experiences, about growth, about shared moments that build over time. Don't rush it. Let the story tell itself. Because the best relationships don't feel like a checklist or a transaction. They feel like something worth experiencing, something that you get to live and build together, one chapter at a time. Point 5. Control your emotions, control the frame. Let's talk about something that's essential when it comes to attraction. Controlling your emotions and, more importantly, controlling the frame. Ever notice how the guy who seems to care the least often has the most power in a relationship? And no, it's not because he's playing games or being a jerk. It's because he's not emotionally dependent on the outcome. He's not clinging to every little interaction. He enjoys the moment for what it is without letting it dictate his emotions. And trust me, women can feel that energy immediately, whether they consciously realize it or not. That kind of emotional detachment and self-assurance is magnetic. Here's the thing, when she pulls back, don't panic. When she takes a while to respond to your message, don't bombard her with multiple follow-ups. And when she says, "I don't know how I feel right now," don't beg for clarity. That's one of the biggest mistakes guys make. They let their emotions dictate their actions, and when you do that, you lose control of the frame. You start reacting out of desperation, and the moment you begin to chase or overthink, you lose your position. So what do you do instead? You stand your ground. You show her that you're secure in who you are, regardless of her actions or responses. You're not shaken by her pulling away or taking time to text back. You don't let her mood shifts affect your self-esteem or your sense of worth. You stay calm, composed, and most importantly, you stay focused on yourself and your own mission. It's not about being cold or emotionally distant. It's about showing her that you don't need her approval to feel good about yourself. It's about being the kind of man who is not affected by the external world because you have inner confidence and security. That's what women are truly drawn to. A man who doesn't need constant validation, but who is comfortable enough to stand firm in his own power. When you're not desperate for attention or reassurance, you create an aura of mystery and self-respect that women can't help but gravitate toward. This is the real definition of confidence. Real confidence comes from a place of self-assuredness, not from seeking approval from others. When you start controlling your emotions, you stop letting the small things like delayed text or a bit of distance affect your state of mind. You're secure enough to let her come to you because you understand that your value doesn't fluctuate based on her actions. And that's the kind of man women want to be with. The one who isn't desperate for their attention, but who has his own life, goals, and passions that he's committed to. When you focus on yourself, and live your life with purpose, you don't need to chase anyone for validation. The right woman will recognize your value without you needing to prove it to her. She'll see the way you carry yourself, the confidence you exude, and she'll be drawn to it naturally. When you're busy living your life, building your own mission, and pursuing your passions, you stop putting pressure on yourself to perform or convince someone to like you. You start living with the understanding that if someone truly fits into your life, they'll come to you on their own terms. So stop overthinking every situation. Stop trying so hard. Be calm. Be confident. Stop being the guy who constantly seeks approval and instead focus on being the kind of man who doesn't need to prove himself. Be the guy who is focused on his own growth and who is emotionally steady no matter what's happening around him. Be the guy who isn't begging for her attention, but is so sure of his worth that he knows she will eventually come to him because she's intrigued by the value he offers, not because he's desperate for hers. Trust me, when you stop chasing and start living your life on your own terms, everything changes. The right woman will see your value and she'll want to be a part of your story. It's that simple. So go out there and handle it like a man. Stop seeking approval and start being the guy she can't help but want. When you do this, you'll see how much more attractive you become. The the chase, the validation, it all becomes secondary to the real power you already possess. Be that guy, and trust me, she'll like you way more if you do. Before we end, most of you will never get real advice about women. You're guessing, messing up DMs, ruining relationships, and feeling lost. Here's the truth. I'm the only one who can actually help you get real results. And for the first time ever, I'm offering something I've never done before. A personal one-on-one chat with me. You'll get direct advice on your specific issues, whether it's DMing, sex, relationships, or anything else. No fluff, just real answers. We can even work together on a chat with a girl to make her go out on a date with you live. This is a game changer. It's you and me, one-on-one. No more wasting time on advice that doesn't work. I've got 4 packages available. Choose what is better for you, but this is only for guys who are serious about leveling up, and VIP spots are limited. Link is in the description. Let's get started. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down your thoughts. See you in the next one.